My name is Christian Lindmeier, and I'm welcoming you to today's global COVID-19 press conference with us.
In the next few months, we do not expect Serum Institute to be able to supply the kind of volumes that were originally predicted. So we need to meet that gap. And so it would be really helpful to get AZ doses from other countries, as Bruce mentioned, in Europe and beyond. We're also talking to the United States, who has committed to sharing their 60 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine that they have, and we're hoping that that would also flow through COVAX to help not only India but other countries as well. And finally, we're also talking to Moderna, which just received the emergency use listing, and there is a deal that's being signed with them for 500 million doses, but this would start in the second half of the year and continue through 2022. So we're exploring all options with companies with existing deals with COVAX, as well as companies that are still coming on board. And we need to get to our goal of about 2 billion doses being distributed to AMC countries by the end of this year. So every bit helps. Thanks.
Swaminathan to add.
Thank you, Christian. Just to brief.
The Access to COVID-19 Tools Accelerator currently faces a funding gap of $19 billion. And we estimate that we will need a further $35 to $45 billion next year to vaccinate most adults around the world. The G7 countries could mobilize a substantial portion of these funds themselves and lead a global effort to accelerate vaccination around the world.
Swaminathan, and we move on to the next question, and that comes from Kitaman Kardava from Georgia TV.
Thank you for the question, and let me say that we are finalizing the assessment of Sinopharm. There is still some documentation that needed to be added, but it should be closed this week, and we will start the final assessment for the listing of Sinovac on the 5th, which is the day after tomorrow. So we expect both the Chinese vaccine, Sinopharm, this is Sinopharm Beijing, BP or something, not Sinopharm Wuhan, and we expect that both of them will be finalized by the end of this week. Thank you.
There are, I think, a large number of people and companies who would be prepared.
So there are progresses now. There is encouraging progress, more and more countries joining, but we need to complete the process as soon as possible and decide, because there is no reason, to be honest, to not decide on IP waiver, because the provision was meant for this situation. The provision of waiving IP was meant for this condition, for emergencies, and this is unprecedented. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both. We'll move on to the next question. That's Corinne.
To protect ourselves locally, we need to act globally. With a concerted and immediate push to mass vaccinate the world, underwritten by the richest countries to help the poorest, and not as an act of charity, but as a matter of national security for each of us, as the best insurance policy in the world. For the words of President John Kennedy, spoken 60 years ago, ring even truer today. If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich.
Mr. Brown's remarks afterwards.